Hi, guys. I am so excited because once again, back by popular demand, I dragged her back. It's Jan from New York City Saves Money. Hi, Jan. How are you?
Hey, Debbie. Hi, everyone. How's everybody doing today?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have you back. I was telling her, like, she holds a dear place to my heart because she's the one that encouraged me to start doing my YouTube live. So every time I have Jan on, to me, it's a party. I'm so relaxed. I didn't even
Aw,
send her questions. I was like, why don't we talk about how to save time and money in the kitchen? And she's the expert. Honestly, she is my guru girl.
Debbie, you are beyond awesome. It's an
Oh,
honor and a pleasure every time.
oh, you're so sweet. I'm like so excited to be back. This is like gonna be the most informal live anyone's ever seen. And we already have Granny Prepper here. Oh, she's so sweet. Here, she's saying hi. Can you can't see the comments, right? I know.
No,
No. Okay.
no,
So
unfortunately.
I'm gonna be clicking on them so you can see everybody. Okay. So we were talking about how to save time and money in the kitchen. And as a full-time working mom of three, like, time is so valuable. It's so valuable to me because, obviously we can all save money, but when you save time and you can save money at the same time, to me, those tips are just gold. So I read this, and you know how I am about statistics. I'm like, I have to throw one out when we get started. This affected me. It affected me so bad. I just came across it this week. It says that the American Dairy Association says that 94% of Americans waste food at home. 94.
That's
I,
horrible.
I'm like, I can't. So they said that the average family wastes a third of the food that they buy, which equates to 250 pounds of food each year. I was left flabbergasted. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I'm not that, I'm not saying I'm perfect in any way. You learn as you go.
Me
I
either.
threw, I threw away a lime and I was so mad. One lime.
No.
Unless that lime weighs 250 pounds, I'm good.
You have me wondering, though, about what to do with that lime.
It's so funny because this week I don't know why on my feed there. I'll tell you who she is off the air because I have to look at my phone. But she has such a big following and she does these frugal tips in the kitchen. And she said that someone gave her a box of lemons and limes. She cut them into wedges and put them on a cookie sheet, put it in the freezer, and then now she has fresh lemon juice anytime she wants. I was like, where was
Nice.
she 2 weeks ago for me?
We always find out these helpful hints after the fact.
After the fact, absolutely, absolutely. So do you want to start throwing out some tips, or you want me to start?
Well, yeah, I call it this. I call it the one roast, the few different meals later rule of thumb.
Mm-hmm.
Buy one roast, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's a roasted chicken, pork, beef, whatever you like.
Mm-hmm.
Make that the center of attention in so many different ways. That is very efficient. You're saving money and time because you're utilizing that one thing. But don't have the exact thing every single time. Then it gets boring. You have to change it up.
Absolutely, absolutely. To me, I talk about meal planning like every time we talk about saving money on in the kitchen and at groceries, because like to me that's what really propelled me into starting to be frugal. Is like because one of the highest things on my budget when we started looking at our numbers was our grocery budget. And so that's when I was like, I have to do something about this. And one thing that I found that really helps me is streamlining my kitchen. Like before I started meal planning, I'd open the pantry, for example, and I'd have to kind of sift a little bit. And my pantry's not big, but I'd have to kind of sift a little bit to see, oh, okay, do I need bread? Do I need pasta? Now I have everything pretty much categorized. So all I have to do is like open the pantry, look real quick, and I know I'm out of bread. I only have one box of pasta. Like, and so when I'm planning my meals, not like what we eat each day, but just to get through the week with a week worth of meals at least, I can just it's quick. It's not something that takes me too much time, and so I'm saving time right there.
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And also keep the meals themselves simple. The smaller the ingredients, the less you need to prepare. The less
Mm-hmm.
you need to prepare, the more time you save.
Yep.
And it walks hand in hand financially too.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can narrow your meals down to two or three, I'd like to ask the audience this, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Name a couple of 2 or 3 ingredient meals that are your favorite go-to. Some of the best answers that I have ever seen come from you guys.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I'm gonna see if anyone starts right now. Um, One of my favorites has to be breaded chicken, because I can take breaded chicken, I can toss it on a salad. I can take breaded chicken, I can put some sauce and some cheese and make it into chicken parm. Like, there's so many ways. And also, my kids love breaded chicken to begin with. You know, cut it into strips. Now you have chicken nuggets, chicken fingers. You know, so it's very versatile.
Love.
It's very
Deb, I have a
versatile.
question for you. What do you do with like your leftover peels of things? Do you get rid of some of them? Do you keep most of them? What do you?
I keep them in a Ziploc bag in my freezer, and then when I have the bag full, I put it in my crock pot. I do use it. She's always on me about that. She's like, you don't use your crock pot. I do. I put it in my crock pot and I fill it with water and I just let it go all day, and it makes the most delicious vegetable broth. And then I take the vegetable broth and I use recycled jars, like you know, the ragu sauces and the salsa jars. And I fill them up almost to the top. You have to leave a little bit of room for air. And I label it and I put it in my.
That's great.
Let me see. Oh, human training says I'm paying attention. Thank you.
Before I forget, this is really important. Kate, if you're watching, congratulations on your 20,000 subs. I am beyond proud of you.
Oh my gosh. When I saw it yesterday,
I am beyond proud.
I was cleaning the kitchen and I'm listening to her latest video. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, like, where's she at? I'm like, oh my gosh, she's at 20,000. She hit it. I screamed.
I've been following Kate since she was at 1,000. So it is huge to see all this progress. Well earned and well deserved, young lady.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to link Kate's channel down below. If you guys aren't familiar with Kate Caden, you have to go check her out. She's fantastic. So, Human in Training says egg cheese on a roll. Oh my gosh. I don't know if it's a Jersey thing. Tell me if it is, please. But pork roll, egg and cheese on a crusty roll. Like when you get it and they flat and they press it so the cheese and the egg get all melty.
Oh, sure. It gets crunchy and oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, pork roll, egg and cheese. I've heard it be called it's not called pork roll. That's I think a Jersey. What is it called?
Pork roll.
It's pork roll? I thought it was called
something like that.
Okay, it's gonna hit me in a little bit. Here's Granny Pepper. She says roasted chicken, tacos, chicken salad, debone the chicken, and make broth with the bones. Absolutely. Yep.
Yummy.
I never thought, you know how like sometimes like you think like you have everything nailed down and then someone tells you a tip and it blows your mind. So when I buy a whole chicken, which isn't often because chicken for the last few months has been so expensive. It's been crazy. But when they were less expensive or when I got them on sale, I would roast them and then I make the broth from the bones, like she said. But you, Jan, you said to do it with a rotisserie chicken. I was like, why didn't I ever think of that? I'm like, rotisserie chickens, 1, they're inexpensive. 2, they're delicious. You don't have to do anything. And then the bones from the rotisserie chicken. When you said that one time, and I think it was in a video we were together, I was like
that is absolutely one of the most overlooked resources, in my opinion.
Yep.
And you can get them for a song sometimes, like at half prices or whatever. Even if you don't get it at half price, many times it's still a savings.
Yeah. The other day, chicken was it was 40% off, and they still wanted $19 for the bird. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not paying $19 for a whole chicken for me to roast myself. I'm like, I can't do that. That's a budget buster. I'm like, and also honestly, I'm like, I could do better. I'm like, I'm not spending the money. Also planning ahead for a dinner. So anything that you need to defrost, like I really suggest it's such a time saver for me because not having enough time when you're done with work, and especially this past 2 weeks, I've been doing a little bit extra overtime. So when I'm done and having the kids come up to me and they're like, what's for dinner? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I didn't have time. I didn't even have time So, so what I've been doing is in the morning, as I'm getting my cup of coffee before I go to work, I literally think, okay, well, tonight I was planning, one of the meals I planned for the week is this. So I take out everything I need from the freezer, put a cookie sheet on the counter and just put it out, and that way let it defrost. And then when I'm ready, then I can go and I'm like, okay, the chicken's defrosted or this is defrosted and we're going to make this for dinner tonight. And that way it's very quick and I don't have to worry about like, I forgot to do this, because when I do that, just like Kate's challenge that you and I took about how to fight frugal fatigue, like that little part of me says like, order out. I'm like, no, I'm not ordering. I'm not ordering out. I'm like, everything's defrosted. Let's go,
And that's another thing. We have to encourage our kids, all of us, to participate more as far as like helping to save time. Yes. There are things the kids can do to save a lot of time in the afternoon when you're tired. Mm-hmm. Help set the table.
Yes.
That's a big thing.
Emptying out the dishwasher. That's what I alternate my teenagers in doing, and that's part of their allowance. And that saves me so much time. Going into a clean kitchen where everything is already like out and the dishwasher is empty, so whatever we eat can go right in, and I just have to wash some pots and pans. That saves me so much time at the end of the day.
True. Mm-hmm. True.
And one thing I mentioned one time in a video, and I got a lot of comments, and I was like, really? Like, I was like, to me, it was just something I do. Like, I didn't think it was a big deal. But I was making dinner and it was chicken. So I had to wash the chicken and everything. And then I was cooking it. And since I had just washed the chicken in the sink, while I'm making dinner, I sprayed down the sink with a disinfectant, because the disinfectant, sometimes depending on the brand, has to sit there for at least 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I had that going as a thing, and they're like, I never thought of that. I'm like, because my thing is like, part of the reason why I save a lot of time is because I think ahead. Like, if my kids are going to put something in the sink and then they're going to take it back out, kids being kids sometimes. And I'm like, no, that's dirty. Like, no, I didn't disinfect it. Now I'm like, no, it's good. So before we're eating dinner, I already sprayed down the disinfectant. I wiped down the sink real quick, and now I know that everything is safe, and the counter too, as I'm cooking dinner.
Just wondering something. I know this sounds weird. Have you or anybody else out there ever partially roasted a chicken, like partially roasted in the morning, and then let's say they need an hour to go, and then in the afternoon continue on? Has anybody ever done that, or is that too strange?
No, that's amazing. I'm like, here we go. I'm taking notes. Jan, you did it again. I never thought of that. Oh my God,
I don't know. Some people might say, gee, that doesn't sound really nice, Jan.
No.
But I think it's okay, because you are finishing it off.
Oh my goodness. Here, hold on a second. Human in Training says, Jan, Kate, and Debbie are the YouTube children of Money Mom.
I agree. Thank you.
What a compliment. Thank you. That's so sweet of you.
What kind words. Thank you so much.
Money Mom. Oh my gosh, I love her. And speaking of the YouTuber that hit 20,000, Kate missed it, but we were totally talking about you, Kate, in the beginning. We're so happy for you.
Beyond happy. So proud of you.
Absolutely. What an accomplishment.
You're such an inspiration to so mmany people, giving people the hope and the courage to keep going and keep trying and not give up. God bless you for it.
And saving money. And she's her energy on saving money is addicting. And as I mentioned before, I'm gonna link Kate's channel down below. So if you don't know Kate, you have to go check her out. But yes, no, definitely. Getting back to some of these, because I feel like you and I are gonna start talking about everything else. Also stocking up the kitchen. So like one thing with me is, since you're looking at what you have on hand in order to make the meals for the week so that you can save money, like that's the whole essence of meal planning. Like what I like about it too is that I don't have too much of things. Like even spices, like I don't have spices that go bad. I don't have things in my pantry that go bad. Like before I did meal planning years ago, before I ever started trying to save money and being frugal, like I'd open the pantry and I'm like, oh, like this is about to expire. Let me donate it. Like, and I'd have like a box of donation. Not that that's bad, but that's money that's out of my pocket. Like, and it was every so often. So once I started being frugal and started meal planning and really looking at what I have, now I can do it in 15, 20 minutes because again, my inventory isn't high. You know what I mean? I don't have any spices that go bad or anything like that. In fact, I'm pretty much buying spices like almost every week because I'm using up everything that I have. And
also to have fun experimenting with your spices and creating your own rubs and not being afraid. You might
No,
like them.
absolutely. And then one thing is I like taking inventory before I do my food shopping, and pretty much as I'm going bare, I like to do it again because I find things that might be on its last leg. You know, like I just did a video that it's so funny. My daughter has me into TikTok now, so I put a little video on TikTok about how I had like two big things of celery. And I had gotten it from my Misfits Market box, and I was planning on using it, but I didn't use all of it. So it was like probably a few days before it was going to start turning. So I chopped it all down. I put it in vacuum in freezer bags, and I squeezed all the air out of it. I labeled it and I stuck it in the freezer. And now I have celery for like months and months. I still have jalapeno peppers that I got in excess of that back in January and actually maybe even December. And it's still in the freezer. I just guacamole last week using a little bit of it, and it's still perfect.
Wow. What is your formula or secret weapon in terms of wrapping up lettuce, keeping lettuce as long as you can?
Oh, lettuce and kale.
That's where I have a problem. I admit that.
Oh my gosh. No.
Yes.
I got you. You know, I'm going to get comments now. And Eileen Lesser's here. Eileen Lesser's here. I have to say hi to her. Oh, I love seeing her face every time she comments. Yay, hi. Oh, hold on. She says, busy getting ready some dinner for my mom here. I just looked up at the chicken thing, and it says to never, ever stop cooking the chicken. Bacteria K remain. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I that's why I was on the fence, Eileen. That's why I didn't advocate it either way.
Yeah,
I said, I don't know.
I'm telling you, you learn so much from our great subscribers. Honestly, you really learn.
Thank you very much, dear.
I feel like Eileen and Granny Prepper always teach me something every time that they comment. I always feel like
I'm glad the question came up.
Yeah.
Because there might be someone that might want, to try that. And it sounded logical for a minute, but then it quite didn't.
Yeah.
Because what if somebody comes along thinking it's already done, cooked, and they take a slice out? No.
Oh gosh. No, definitely not. But
thank you, dear.
Yeah, no, she's great. When you're talking about with the lettuce and I do the same thing with the kale. I had kale last 2 weeks in my fridge, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome, because kale can get a little expensive too. So I have Tupperwares, those old-fashioned Tupperwares with like the red lid that snap on. You know what I mean? Like the big ones that you can store a salad.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. One thing that I think, again, I'm gonna get people saying I'm crazy, but I don't invest in a salad spinner. I don't know what it is about a salad spinner. I had one and it broke. I had one and it broke. And then I got another one, and my kids started playing with it when they were little, and it broke. And afterwards, I was like, you know what? I don't need it.
You shameful salad spinner non-person, you.
I love the salad spinner. I'm like, I'm sorry. Okay. So what I do is I just have a big colander in the sink, right? And so when I bring home the lettuce or the kale or anything else, any kind of greens, I chop it up the way I normally would. And then I get a really good rinse, move it around in my colander. I squeeze the water out of it. And then I take a big Tupperware, I line it with paper towels, which I only use for when I'm prepping vegetables. But I put paper towels on the bottom, just one, put in everything, and then put a paper towel on the top and then seal it closed. That'll last in the fridge for a week. And
wonderful.
When you're using it, if you see that the paper towel on the top starts turning a little color, like sometimes it goes, I don't know why it turns red. No idea. But if you see it start turning color, just replace it and then close it back up. It'll last you a good week.
How about tomatoes?
Tomatoes, once they start turning, I put it in my sauce or I roast them. That's another.
See, I was wondering about that. When you start seeing them get that funny look.
Or like when it just gets a little soft to the touch, like I don't even let it go that far. I'll either add it to a sauce, like just chop it up and add it to a sauce, or I'll make a quick salad to, like if I have, because normally I have my salad ingredients in the fridge, or I put them in the roasting pan. My friend Jay, she used to have a YouTube channel and she stopped. She's so lovely. I said to her one day, I have too many radishes, and I love radishes in my salad, but I got a big bunch and I wasn't going to use them. She said, put them in a roasting pan with some tomatoes. Jan, when I tell you, like the combination, and I put a little bit of garlic, the combination was like, it was an explosion of amazing, like Italian taste in your mouth. It was so good.
Thank you for that. So you could put
Yeah.
like cherry tomatoes or something like that.
I had cherry tomatoes. I had the big plum tomatoes. I had like two of them, two of each, and then I
Yeah.
had a bunch of radishes. So I just cut the radish in
Yum.
half, put a little bit of olive oil, put some garlic in it, and then roasted it. I think it was like at 350 for 20-25 minutes. Like when you see it turn, like the texture turns, it's ready. And the cherry tomatoes will pop. So good.
There's an example right there.
Mm-hmm.
Simplicity. Couple of ingredients, putting them together,
Mm-hmm.
inexpensive, yum. Know what I noticed? To me, plum tomatoes seem to last the longest.
Yes. Yes. And I like them better. I don't know what it is about those little tomatoes. My daughter, my little one, she loves them. But I'm just like,
they hold up.
Oh. Yeah, I'm just like, I can take them or leave them, but the big ones are the ones that I really like. Absolutely.
Wow.
So what I was saying is I take inventory of what's in the fridge too. And if you have like spare things that you've used a little bit, but not everything, like go to Pinterest, go to Google, like, like go to all recipes and put in what you have, and you can come up with another new recipe to use it for, and then that way you're using everything up and nothing goes to waste. I was on the phone with my friend the other day, and she said to me, she goes, I almost looked up your channel. I wanted to see what suggestion you had. She goes, I threw away a whole tub of chili. And I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
I'm like, it's so easy. Stick it in the freezer. Like, just freeze it. I love freezing leftovers because then it's like my own little TV dinner, even if it's only like one little portion. Whenever I'm busy or like, or everyone else ate and I'm doing something and then I go, I'm like, instead of having that, I can just, take something else out. Or if I'm by myself and I just want a quick lunch, I could just take out my little bag of little portion of chili and it's a homemade meal, for me.
When it comes to fresh mushrooms, aren't you better off buying them whole instead of sliced? I mean, wouldn't you say that they would go bad quickly this way, sliced already?
I find that the containers that they sell it in, the bottom, you can never tell because you're looking at the top, and normally it's not a clear container. Normally it's that foam
Good point. Good
container.
point.
And I really feel like they use that on purpose. Again, going back to the supermarkets tricking you to spend more money. Like, I really feel like that's why they won't let you see the bottom. And the peppers too. Like, I'm telling you, like anytime you go to a farmer's market, especially farmer's markets, they're really guilty of that. Like anything that's sliced, they won't let you look at the bottom. And I'm like, I wonder why. And then normally I regret it. Normally I really do. And mushrooms keep forever if you put them, not forever, but for a good few weeks if you put it in a paper bag and just crumble it up and just put it somewhere dark like your pantry. They keep for a long time. If you put them in the fridge, they get gummy.
Yes. And I think people wet them too much. And that enforces it to decay quickly.
I thought the first time I saw this on one of those chefs, I love watching cooking shows like these chefs, and I learned something from them. It was like one of those amateur cooking things, and the people were like putting the mushrooms in a colander and putting water on top, and the guy was like, "No, what are you doing?" he took a paper towel and just wet the corner, and then like kind of just made it a little damp, and was like just tapping it, and all the dirt came right off. And he's like,
I know it defies logic because a part of me is like, but ew, all this dirt, and all you're doing is like putting a little bit of moisture on paper towel, for example, and just blotting it, which is what we're supposed to do.
Yes.
Because otherwise it's just going to get ruined.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So you have to like sort of kiss it up and pray.
Oh. Please let the cooking time just destroy any bacteria. Oh, Eileen, she says she loves us. She's so sweet.
We love you too. We love you too.
It's awesome. Batch cooking. That's another big one. So I was thinking ahead because I knew that my week was going to get kind of crazy, and I was breading some chicken. And so what I did is I took an extra package of chicken, and it only took me 10 to 15 minutes to because I already had everything laid out, like the breadcrumbs and the eggs, and I already had the pan with the oil. So I took out the extra package, and I thought this is like kind of an experiment for myself because I never did that before. I breaded it, I cooked it, served half to my family that day. The other half I let cool. And I froze it in a big Ziploc bag with a paper towel in between, so it wouldn't get like mushy. And then when one of those days that it's kind of crazy, I took out the chicken a few hours before because it's cooked. It just has to defrost. And then I put it in the oven with a little bit of sauce and some cheese, and I had chicken parm and it tasted fresh, like I just made it.
Wow. I have a little bit of a humorous story.
Yeah.
The other day, The other day I decided I want to order one of those frozen Stouffer, for lasagna, those big trays,
Oh,
good to
they look
have.
so good. They look so good in the
Yeah, I
box.
mean, I'm not going to make lasagna from scratch. I'm just not
Yeah.
going to do that. Okay. So I'm like so happy, expecting this thing coming, right? What do I get? This little thing. It could have been more than like an inch. I don't know what this thing was. So cute.
Oh.
It was this like little thing, but it was the product, but it was small. I'm expecting this big thing
big
because they
one.
do know they make a big one, but it was
Yes.
hilarious because I didn't know they had such a cute little thing, but it was quite good. The bottom line is there are times you're better off having convenience foods.
Yes.
It actually works out for the better sometimes.
And when you plan ahead, then you're not busting your budget and you still have them on hand. And
If
especially when
you
they go
live
on sale.
alone, if you live alone, for example, to buy a separate sauce, separate pasta, separate ricotta, separate meat, whatever.
Yeah.
And all you want is this like one-time thing. There are times, it depends on your circumstances, that you're better off, going that route.
Absolutely.
I'm not recommending it constantly,
Yeah.
but once in a while it's okay.
Absolutely. And also quick meals. Like that's another thing you reminded me of. Like it's so inexpensive to buy a frozen, because I don't make my own pizza crust. I haven't tried yet. I should. But for $1, I buy the bagged dough. You stick it in the freezer. Like you don't have to do anything. You don't have to prep it. You stick it in the freezer. Whenever you want to use it, again, defrost it on the counter the day of, because it immediately starts like getting doughy again. So then I put it out in the morning. I make it for lunch for the kids because we're all still working from home. So I literally make it out, and I have a jar of sauce that costs me $1 at the supermarket. I have a block of cheese that I've broken up into 3 meals. And one of them is for the pizza. And I have this dough that costs me like $1. Sometimes it's $1.10, but it's so convenient. Having convenient food that's really inexpensive can really save you so much time and money in the kitchen, especially on the busy nights. Like my lives are, a Tuesday night at 7. Tuesday night is taco night. Like I literally go downstairs. I make some quick ground beef, ground chicken, ground turkey. Put some spices on it. I have for $1.20. I have the taco shells, some sour cream, and another part of the block of the grated cheese. And there you go. They're having tacos right now while I'm up here.
What is your best? 2, 3. You are the expert with this. What is the best method for storing those bagged cheeses? Because if you're not careful, they could get kind of funky.
I like buying the blocks instead, first of all, because it's less expensive because you're not paying for the prep of it. And the bagged cheeses that come already shredded, they actually have cornstarch in them, because the cornstarch, because that way, because if I were to take a block of cheese and grate it and put it in a Ziploc bag and sell it to someone in a store like 3 weeks later, the whole thing would meld together and it would just be like a big mush. So that's why sometimes when you use it on top of something, it takes a little longer for the cheese to melt, because it has cornstarch in it. So, but if you are gonna do that, I freeze them. I freeze them. I do, and freezing them, they defrost perfectly. There's nothing different in the consistency. You can still top it on top of anything you want, pizza, pasta, anything. Cook it normally, and it's fine.
Because sometimes I have that problem with the shredded mozzarella cheese. So I don't know if it's that I'm just letting it go too long, or I kept it in the freezer too long.
Or in the freezer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't really keep it in the freezer too long, for sure.
Mozzarella cheese doesn't last that long in my house, to let you know, like past a month, to be honest. But like the cheddar cheese does, because once in a blue moon I'll treat the kids and I'll make mac and cheese, because my son begs and begs and begs every week, and I'm like, he'll eat the whole tray, so I don't do it often. I'll make him wait. I make him want it. But cheddar cheese, once you shred it, it does last a long time in the fridge, because I only use it for certain meals, so that definitely does work. But mozzarella cheese doesn't last that long in the fridge. I usually
then you don't have that problem at all whatsoever.
No. But the bagged ones, I used to buy the bagged ones when they were on sale, and I had a coupon for it, like back when I was shopping inside the stores. Now everything is online for me, but back then, whenever they were on sale, I'd stock up like 2 or 3 and I put it in the freezer, so I had it for like future meals. When they're on sale, it's a great deal.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So batch cooking I also make I did this a few weeks ago, and it worked out so well. Again, an experiment, because like you never know if something's going to work out until you try it. But I had a big package of, I think it was 3 pounds of ground turkey, if I remember correctly. So I browned the whole thing and I added the regular spices I normally do. And then so I put a third of it that Tuesday for their tacos. I took another one and I made my own sauce using the vegetables that I had left over in the fridge before they went bad. I roasted them and I added them to my tomato sauce and I pureed them, and they had no idea that they were having roast carrot, garlic, like
Wow.
peppers, eggplant. Eggplant is huge. You can hide it in anything, and as long as it's roasted and pureed, they can't taste it. And they're like, "Well, this is a really great sweet sauce." I'm like,
Did you say eggplant? I love eggplant. I love eggplant.
My kids don't like it. My kids don't.
I
like
know
it,
a lot
so
of kids don't.
it. Yeah, I hide it. I hide it like crazy. My husband and I, we love it. Yeah.
I always loved it. Oh my God.
And so then I took the last third of it and I made shepherd's pie, and then I froze that because I had still some shredded cheddar in the freezer. I made like a small batch of mashed potatoes, put it on top, and I froze it because I didn't want it to go bad, because cooked meat can't stay in the fridge that long, and I don't want to test anything and have anyone get sick. So I had it. So not only did I get 2 meals out of that 3-pound package, but then I also got one in the freezer for like another busy night.
Right. So basically, when you say meal planning, you're meal component planning.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no hard and fast rule. You're working interchangeably during the week with stuff.
Absolutely.
That's great.
And I'm just making sure that what I have, I've at least planned ahead to know like what meals I'm going to make. Not exactly to the T, but just so I know I can at least get 7 meals out of it. And then my fun part is when my 7 days are up and I'm still like, I can make it another 3 days before I go food shopping. And the kids, they open the fridge and they're like, "Mom, like there's nothing here." I'm like, like that's where the savings are. That's where the savings are. We've saved so much money that way, so much money, and we've applied it towards our debt and our emergency fund. Like it's amazing how once you start on this journey of being frugal, like how much you're able to save, because small amounts add up to something huge before you know it. What
do you do when you get last minute company?
I usually have something in the freezer that I can take out, and I have taken out like a whole, like, pasta, something, another thing I love to batch, because like I can, it's easy. You're not dirtying anything. That's my favorite thing about batch cooking. You're not dirtying anything extra. I'm using one pot. I just put 2 boxes of pasta in it. I just fill it up a little bit more with water. So I'm serving
2
one
things.
pot.
You just never know. You never know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Also, what about a night that you may not be feeling great?
That again, they go to the freezer. I always have ingredients to make a quick pizza, tacos. One time my son was like, "I want to try enchiladas." He put on my video. He put on my YouTube video. I'm up here with a migraine and I can't, and I'm like trying to, like, I'm in the dark and I'm like, what are they gonna make me for dinner? It's gonna be like a cheese sandwich. And he made enchiladas. I was like, "Oh my gosh, how impressive are you?" Yeah. I was like, that's my boy. But yeah, no, I love having this with the same ingredients. You can just make so many meals. You really can. And that way you're like, again, stretching that grocery budget. That's where the savings is. Saving time too. I got my box of produce, my Misfits Market. It came yesterday, and it was one of those busy nights where I'm just like, I just couldn't wait to, Sunday night. And I couldn't wait to just relax, because it was one of those crazy weekends, the holidays, the kids get all jazzed up with chocolate. And then my husband and I are just looking at each other like, are they in bed yet? So I was like, what? Part of me just wanted to take the vegetables and just stick it in the fridge and say I'll deal with it during the week. But I was like, no, I'm taking the time now, because I know how crazy things can get. And then yesterday, I literally took the whole thing I did of kale, just put it in the pot and made sauteed kale. And I had a delicious and healthy side dish that it took me 5 seconds to make, because I prepped it before that. So
that's it. That's half the battle won, that you were prepped.
Yeah. Preparing and planning ahead it's such a money saver. It's such a money saver. I can't tell you how many nights before we started living this way, how many nights before I'd just be like, let's just order something. And for a family of 5, that's between like $30 and $70, depending on where you order.
Makes an incredible difference.
It really does.
That adds up at the end of the month. A little bit here, a little bit there. Maybe we don't notice it at first. But it's those little wallet leakers that can be wallet builders. Yeah. Turn it around. And I also love what you do with at the end of the week, like you sort of put everything together, leftovers, and just hang out and have a food festival.
I do. I lay them out like buffet style and just have them go at it. They clean out the fridge, and it's one day I don't cook. You know, like when I have that, you know, it's great. And you know, they get tired of leftovers, so I don't serve leftovers the next day. I either try to turn it into something else, or that last day it's buffet style. They go for their favorite meal, and then my husband and I would just eat whatever they didn't. We don't care. So,
there you go.
What about you? Like, how? I mean, I know you don't meal plan like per se, but how do you save?
Well, it has changed, you know, because of my circumstances. When I was taking care of my mom, definitely there was a lot of planning. When I was raising my daughter, certainly a lot of planning. Planning to a degree for me, but not like strict planning. No.
Yeah. But do you still?
But I highly recommend it for anyone.
Yeah. No, absolutely, definitely, because that's where the weakness comes in, and that's when you just order out. Here, Penny Prepper. She said, on the lines of batch cooking, yes, Debbie, cook once and eat twice, and make extra all the time. Yeah. My favorite thing about batch cooking, honestly, is that you don't dirty anything extra. Because I'm sorry, like when I'm trying to save time, like the last thing I want to do is have an extra 15 minutes in the kitchen because my kitchen looks like a disaster because I batch cooked, you know? But I have to start taking more notes from you because you love your crock pot, right?
Yeah, to this minute I still love it. What happened was I didn't really appreciate it until we were shut off. Our building had to undergo a renovation because Con Edison had shut down everybody's gas stove. We were without a gas stove for 2 years. I had to learn in a hurry to adapt. Yes.
2 years?
2 years. Ask Steve Young.
2 years?
2 years. That's when I reacquainted myself with a slow cooker. I should have taken more advantage of things like electric fryer, you know, electric skillet, you know, things like that. But it worked out. And then, of course, I got my electric stove because we never returned on the gas here because they were doing this renovation throughout the whole city. Oh, wow. So a lot of people are shut off like 2 years, 1 year, some people 3 years. Oh, it was horrible.
I feel like I have to pick up my jaw from the ground. I thought you were going to say 2
I can't make this stuff up.
Wow. No wonder you're like always like, use your crock pot.
That's why I'm like, slow cooker. That's when I learned to love a slow cooker meatloaf.
I have to try that. I have to try that. I love making, like, I don't do it enough, but I love making meatloaf. The kids love meatloaf. I mean, in the slow cooker, how awesome would that be? Yeah.
Anything that gets the job done at the same time of something else is a nice thing.
Yeah. I was thinking of you the other day when I was doing that batch cooking of the ground beef because I was looking at my slow cooker and it's just sitting there and I was just like, I want to learn how to use you better. I could be making something else at the same time. I thought of you. I was like, what would Jan do?
Debbie, do you make pot roast in your slow cooker?
No. I don't remember the last time I made a pot roast. To be honest with you,
because that's probably a very easy thing to do.
Okay.
On days that you're really busy.
I gotta look into that. I really do. I have to start using it. I have to get over the fear of burning down the house, like I told you. Like
no.
The first time I went to use it, I came home and the house was full of smoke. I was like,
it
was horrible. It was horrible. I use it mostly for stocks. I use it for I did use it one time. I used a recipe. I think I saw it on Joel and Christie's channel, The Long Run. They did it was almost like a taco soup, and it came out so good. I never used it again, but I have to use that for that again. But I use it for beans. I love buying dry beans. That's another money saver there. You get so much dried beans more than you do from the can, even though the can's more convenient. I let them soak in a bowl for one day, and then I put it in my crock pot, fill it with water, and just let it cook all day. And then I bag them and I freeze them. So now I have cooked beans whenever I want at a really low discount.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And then, like I was saying before, freezing leftovers. That's another huge thing. Like I get so many comments from my wonderful subscribers, and also on Instagram, and they're always telling me like, my kids don't like leftovers. I always throw leftovers out. And I'm like, I get it. Like kids can be picky and finicky. God knows. I mean, I have one.
I think it's the word that turns them off. The word leftovers.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I have one that likes fruit, one that likes vegetables. The one that likes vegetables doesn't like fruit, and then I have my little one that eats everything. So it's difficult. It's difficult, absolutely. But that's why you have to try to like think out by thinking outside the box. You save
You
money.
know what you could do? You could turn
Mhm.
some of those quote leftovers into future pizza toppings.
Good idea. Good idea. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just coming up with ways to revamp things, you know, like turn
That's
it into
it.
something else. You don't have to go buy a recipe. You don't have to go buy a recipe all the time, you know? Like how many meals
No,
do we make that when you look at a recipe, it's like top it with some fresh parsley. Oh, I don't have fresh parsley. I can't make this recipe. Oh, yeah, you can. Use some dried. Don't use it at all, you know? Like think of ways of using what you have, even if you're missing an ingredient. That's sometimes how new recipes come up.
you see your pizza crust? If you have leftover pizza crust, you could
Hmm.
take that. You could add to it garlic powder, fresh chopped parsley, um,
I know what you're
maybe a
gonna
little
say.
salt and pepper. What? What about garlic knots? Did you know I was going to say
Oh
that?
my gosh! See, that's why she's here. That's why she's here. I tell you, you learn
Why wait?
every
They're
time you learn
delicious
something.
too.
Oh my goodness,
They're
unbelievable.
so good.
If you, I always forget to say this, but if you guys are liking this video, please don't forget to click the like button. And I'm gonna link Jan's channel down below. If you're new to her channel, if you've never watched her channel, which I tell you, after you watch this, go run over to her and hit the subscribe button. As you can tell, you probably
Thank you
written
so
down like
much.
3 things right now. I know I have in my head. I'm like, garlic knots. As soon as you said garlic, I was like, she's gonna say garlic knots. Oh my gosh, you're making me hungry.
I love garlic knots. I really, really do.
Yeah, yeah, no, I know when you said that. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, this is good. Oh, here we got some comments that Brooke Jimerson. I've never seen you before. Hi, welcome. Uh, so pot roast in the slow cooker is perfection. I have to try it.
Yes, yes.
I have to try it. Okay, all right, I'm gonna try
Thank
it.
you. It
Absolutely.
really is.
Thank you so much. Yeah, no, definitely. Oh, my comments jumped. Human in training. Leftovers equals delayed second serving. I like that.
Love it.
I like that. Thank you. That's awesome. Eileen, I use my crock pot a lot. The beef roast comes out very tender. I knew we were gonna talk about food. I normally don't eat before my lives, but I did this time, so I wasn't starving. And I'm telling you, guys are making me so hungry. Okay.
I'm so glad you did.
Yes, I know. I'd be starving right now. You have mix enough water, and so it doesn't burn my crock pot automatically. It turns off after the setting numbers of hours, and puts it in a warmer temperature. Mine does too. Mine does too. It was
You
my
have an
fault.
automatic shut off on it.
I don't have an automatic shut off. I have it goes to warm. So like
Okay.
so if you set it for 8 hours, at 8 hours and a minute, it goes to warm and it stays at warm. It was completely my fault. I misread the recipe because
It happens. It happens.
it called it. I'll never forget it. It was Thai chicken. I was like, I'm gonna be fancy the first time I use my my crock pot. It had peanut butter. It had chicken bone, but it was chicken. It was chicken on the bone, and of course my family doesn't like chicken on the bone. I don't care. So I put chicken breast in it, and I guess boneless, and I guess because of that, it was a drier meat, and because I didn't put enough liquid in it, the house was full of smoke. The whole thing, I had
Oh, that
to
had to be
literally soak it
scary.
for a week, literally a week, as I'm scraping the house. It was horrible.
Really?
It was horrible. I was my neighbor. If I had neighbors living a little bit closer to me, I would have had the fire department over because literally my it was full of smoke. It was so bad. It was so bad. So I'm still a little nervous about it.
If you're working with an item that requires a lot of like fluid in it,
Mm-hmm.
that's your least thing of worrying when you work with a slow cooker.
Yes.
For
Yes.
example, like the pot roast
Mm-hmm.
or the corned beef, for example, too. Anyone make a corned beef in their slow cooker recently for St. Patty's Day?
Oh,
And
I'd
if
love to
so,
know.
how did it come out?
Oh, that's a great question.
I had given the recipe out a few weeks back.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta try it. My husband's Irish, but he doesn't like corned beef. He ate it a lot as a kid or something. I don't know, but I was like, you want me to try? And he was like, no, that's okay. Let me see. Here's I hope I don't mispronounce your name. Reza Daikundi. Hi, I've never seen you before. Hi, welcome. I hope I didn't just mispronounce your name. Very pretty too. Let me see. Granny Prepper. Yes, use another word. Don't say leftovers.
Yeah,
Like,
there's something stigmatic about this word leftovers. Me personally, Jan, I don't care. If it's delicious, yay. Janet,
mm-hmm.
don't care. But that's,
Yeah,
I'm
no.
62. I'm 62. I'm not 25. 25-year-old will go,
I think it's in the kids' DNA, honestly. Like they're just like, leftover. Like, I don't care. Like, that's what's for dinner. Like, I was raised that that's what's for dinner and that's what you're gonna eat. Like, like I know some people like to like accommodate their recipes like per family member, but I mean, I grew up with not a lot, and I guess that's where my frugality came from my mom. And so she was like, that's what's for dinner. That's what you're gonna have. And I had things I didn't like. Liver was one, and cold green pea soup was another one. It was like just slimy and it was horrible, but I ate it because my mother made it and then it was for dinner. And I just crossed my fingers like, please no leftovers, please no leftovers. Because if there was leftovers, I had to eat it. There was no say in it. But anyway, and then I wanted to vegetarian meals. Like, I know you and I have talked about that before. Like, what a great money saving tip is to do a meatless or vegetarian meal.
Yeah, it really, really is not. I just mentioned a little bit ago that I personally love eggplant. Okay. For me, I could just make those fried eggplant cutlets, be very happy, dip it in egg and breadcrumb. I am happy, happy, happy. A little tomato sauce on top, a little bit of sprinkle of Parmesan cheese. I am good to go. Some people don't care for that. But if you can incorporate maybe once a week a meatless dinner, you might start saving some money. I'm not saying convert or anything. Just give it a whirl once a week.
And it's better, and it's on it. And I mean, there's all these reports and everything. Like when you incorporate at least 2 meatless meals throughout the week, it's better for your health. It supposedly lowers your cholesterol, and there's all these benefits to it. And I honestly feel better. Like I'm not a vegetarian. I feel like in my head I am, but I'm not. But like I just feel lighter when I have
you feel better.
Yeah, I do.
Do you like vegetable pizza? I do.
I'm trying to think, when's the last time I even had a vegetable pizza? My favorite pizza, which is gonna sound crazy. I love a cheesesteak pizza. Have you ever had a cheesesteak pizza?
Yummy. That's okay.
So good. There's something about cheddar cheese and thin stripes of steak, which I just said I'm a vegetarian in my brain, but you mentioned that. Like, there's something about it's so weird, but it's so good. My husband's like, that's not pizza.
Right. You're not going to feel like deprived. Like, if you like pizza, that's meatless.
Yes.
Like, absolutely. Meatless. What's going to happen? I'll die if I don't have meat every single night of my life till I'm dead.
No. I like it. And also another thing too is pantry meals. Like I mentioned before, my pineapple fried rice, like everything except for the green onions, which if I don't have on hand, I still make the meal anyway. Everything comes from my pantry. Like I have a can of roasted red peppers in my pantry, a can of diced of pineapples and pineapple juice in my pantry, the rice, the seasonings, and it comes together so great. Some soy sauce in the fridge. Like it comes together so great, and it's so inexpensive, and it's so light on you and I put some eggs in it too. I scramble some eggs and I put them on top too, and it's a vegetarian meal. You can add chicken if you want to, but to me it's a pantry meal, which saves me, which again clears everything out, rotates everything so nothing goes bad, saves me time because it comes together in 20 minutes because nothing has to defrost, nothing has to, like how we don't have to cook anything through, we don't have to worry about anything going, not cooking right. It's simple. It's so simple and it's so easy. Breakfast.
How about important staples like rice and pasta? How do you know what is the right amount for your family and not to buy excessively, too much either, because you don't want it going bad either if you don't use it a lot. So how do you know when is the right balance?
I don't carry a lot. In my pantry. I literally right now I can tell you I have 4 boxes. I have spaghetti. I have penne. I have the elbow, and I think I might have an extra box of elbow. Like I have 4 boxes. I don't have a huge assortment. That makes sense. Forever. Yeah, pasta lasts forever in the fridge. I mean, in the pantry, it really does. And so that won't go bad. My rice, I put it in a big container, and I use, at the most I've used is like 2 cups, because again, I'm feeding a family of 5, and I'm hoping I'll have leftovers for the next day, so I don't have to worry about lunch. So I usually make like 2 cups of rice with anything I'm making. And then rice is something you really have to be careful about in the fridge, because that's one of the main things I heard like people throw away the most, because rice goes bad after a few days. Just put it in a freezer bag, label it, take out the air, and just stick it in the freezer, and then you can move it. I've done that too. Like when I've had extra brown rice, I put it in the freezer, and then whenever I'm making anything that requires rice, I take it out like just a few minutes before, just give the bag a little shake to kind of like break it up a little bit, and I just add it into my pan, and it cooks and defrosts right there, and the consistency doesn't change either.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also breakfast for dinner. That's another way of saving time and money. Like I've had that where I've only had eggs, potatoes, garlic.
Love.
Yeah, and I just put it together. Sometimes I make I cook up the potatoes separate, or cook them in the oven, and then I just put the whole thing together in the pan, put it in the oven for a little bit, and make like a frittata.
And why does it taste better? Breakfast for dinner tastes better than breakfast for breakfast. Don't ask.
I think it's a kid thing. Did your mom ever do that when you were little? Like once in a while you have a bowl of cereal for dinner?
Yes, that has happened. Yep.
I think that's a kid thing. Like, I mean, to me, it was awesome. Like, my mom used to get those little boxes of like, like the assortment. And I used to really hope that no one ate the Apple Jacks, because that was mine, Then sometimes dinner, I just have a bowl of Apple Jacks. Like, who cares, I think
my favorite mushroom Swiss omelet. Yum.
When my husband and I went on our honeymoon, they had an omelet station. And if you got there early enough, and that's what I always got, the mushroom and Swiss.
Is that?
Oh, so good. It's the best. It's the best. It's the best. Yeah, no, I don't buy enough mushrooms here, because again, one of the things the kids don't like. They don't like that, and they don't like broccoli rabe. I can eat broccoli rabe, just like I can eat vegetables all day long. I don't get bored of them. And broccoli rabe is one of my favorites. So, but no, I gotta stay away from it.
It's a balancing act when you have kids.
You have to it's a give and take. Like I don't want to be the soldier that makes them liver. Like they've never tasted liver before,
No liver, no.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh, Eileen. Here. I always make my corned beef in the crock pot. And it comes out perfectly every time.
I think it has no choice but to come out perfectly every time.
Granny Peppers never had eggplant.
Oh my gosh, I highly recommend it.
Jan,
it's a mild flavor, very mild. It's a very mild flavor. What, dear?
I said you'll have her over.
Anytime. It's a very mild flavor.
Oh, Brooke says, Granny, Pepper, chop up the eggplant and saute it over some vegetables. Oh my gosh, season it with whatever flavor you like, and however you want to taste it.
So good.
I love it. Absolutely.
You just feel better. I mean, this is my opinion. When you eat more vegetables over the meat, in my opinion,
Yep.
I feel personally better.
Yes, absolutely. You feel lighter.
You
I
just don't feel weighed down and greasy.
Yeah, absolutely, 1000%. Oh, Eileen, eggplant parm is my absolute favorite meal. I love it too.
Aw.
Granny Prepper, veggie pizza, yum. Clean out the refrigerator and put it on a pizza. I've had vegetable pizza. That's your question before. I've had it from a pizzeria, but I've never made my own. Now you got me thinking about that. Let me see. Brooke, why does breakfast taste better at night? I know it really does.
I don't know.
No idea why, but it really does. Kate, I still eat cereal for dinner sometimes.
Yum.
What is it, right? It's like a kid thing. You're kind of like, I kind of feel like I'm being bad, like I'm sneaking it sometimes, like.
Especially on a hot summer night, right? Really? Cold bowl of cereal. Yum.
On the summertime, I stock up on fruit. Like there's something about like a chopped up watermelon, pineapple, and I love to grill it too. The pineapple, I put it on the grill with a little bit of cinnamon, and it comes out so delicious. It gets all crusty with the sugar of the pineapple. So good. I'm so glad I ate before that we started talking. Okay. Oh, sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. Here you go. Granny says, thanks, Brooke. I'm gonna give it a try. Sounds so good. You really should. Oh, broccoli rabe. Thank you, Human in Training. It's awesome. Broccoli rabe is the easiest vegetable to make. You just you steam it or you boil it for just a few minutes for it to turn bright, and then you take
Yeah.
some olive oil and some garlic and saute it
Yeah.
and pour it on top.
Some people enjoy that with sausage.
Yes, I've seen it with sausage. I've seen it with sausage at restaurants. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to make it
Yeah.
so bad.
And it's
Like,
not cheap.
no,
That dish in the restaurant is not cheap.
no, it's not cheap, and it's so cheap to make at home.
So cheap to make.
I'm telling you that meal over pasta, I'm guessing is $6, and it'll feed your whole family. Like it really will. Chop up the sausage small. Yeah, absolutely. Kate, heck yes, hot summer nights, cold bowl of cereal.
Yes.
You guys got me thinking now. I think I'm gonna do this in the summertime. I'll send you guys a message, be like, guess what I'm doing.
That's it.
Oh, here's Kate. Any tips on how to like broccoli? I can't stand it. I find that if you like garlic, like I just said, like just saute a little bit of garlic with some olive oil, and then just pour it on top of any vegetable that you don't really like, and just give it a good mix. Have the pieces of garlic go like in between, like the tops of the broccoli. I think you'll love it. Just either saute it or just boil it just a little bit. You don't want to overboil it. Just when it starts turning bright green like a crayon, you know you're done. So,
try a little bit. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But anything with garlic, olive oil, Parmesan cheese together,
yes,
to me,
yes.
winner.
And roasting is another great way of taking a vegetable that you might not like and changing the flavor altogether. I can eat a whole pan of roasted asparagus when asparagus is on sale.
I knew it.
I'm snacking on it while I'm cooking. My husband's like, is there any left? I'm like, I don't know. What do you think?
I agree with you. Not that long ago, we showed a recipe about enjoying roasted chickpeas. They come out like crunchy nuts.
Do they?
Yeah, this was about, I don't know, I made the video about a month and a half back.
I got to look at it. I must have missed it. Oh
Lisa Miller submitted the original recipe. Yum.
Really?
And it comes out crunchy. Imagine.
I got to try it. You know, they sell, oh gosh, what are they called? Wasabi. You know, have you ever had wasabi? So they have the wasabi pea or bean. I don't want to say it wrong, but they sell it in a jar and it's just roasted, and they're not hot. They're not hot, and they're delicious. So they're almost like they remind me of sunflower seeds.
Wow.
Like that consistency. It changes when you make something a different way.
Wow.
Kate says it's official. I just need you ladies to come over and make me dinner.
Thank you. Anytime.
That would be a fun day. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, here's Brooke. I've been wanting to make the roasted chickpeas for a snack. I gotta try that. I think I have. What happens if you have a dry like a bag of dry in the pantry? What do I do with that?
That's a good question. Not quite sure. That will throw out the audience. So
maybe I'll make it ahead of time, but not have it be like too soft, and then roast.
It's done with the can. Okay. So yeah.
So if I make it the same consistency as the can, then I can try to roast them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, right?
I have no idea.
I'm going to message you. I'm going to be like, guess what you guys have me doing? Here we go.
I understand it comes out very crunchy, like literally crunchy. So that's interesting.
Human in Training, roasted chickpeas is an Italian delicacy. Really?
Wow.
I guess I shouldn't say that my husband's favorite Italian restaurant is Olive Garden.
I believe it.
We went one time for someone wanted to treat us for his birthday, and we went to Little Italy before the whole quarantine many years ago. And we went to Little Italy, and we were recommended this restaurant, and they said it's the best restaurant. It's been around for 100 years, and the food is fantastic. And he's sitting there looking at the menu, and he's like, "Is it bad? I want to be at Olive Garden." I'm like, "This is authentic. Like, we need to try this." He's like, "I just want my salad bowl."
Aw.
I know.
And then you get caught up with the ambiance, the environment, and everything.
It was
wonderful. It's wonderful.
And they even brought us over, like, because they made us wait. They gave us a dessert for free. I was like, do you know who you're talking to? Like, I'm all about frugality. I'm coming back.
There you go.
Granny Pepper, canned chickpeas, Jan. Okay, so it has to be canned.
Yes.
All right. All right, I gotta try it. I'm gonna experiment.
Which is great because it's something you could keep on hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any other tips to give before I let you go, since I've kept you so long?
No, actually, I'm kind of dried on tips tonight.
No, you were great. You were great as usual. Yeah, that's why I'm like, when I have you on, I'm like, there's no reason to like even talk about it. Let's just start talking.
Always, no, it's always fun. It's always fun.
Absolutely. Oh, Life with Granny T's here. Hi. Oh my
Hey.
gosh. Hey. Oh my gosh. Eileen's thinking like me. She's like, yum.
That's it. The one word.
Many words. I'm like, yep, I'm feeling it too.
You guys are amazing. You come up with a lot of good stuff, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much done with my tips as well. Thank you so much, Jan, for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Oh, an honor and a pleasure. Thanks everybody for being here.
Yes, no, and please, everybody, go check out Jan from New York City Saves Money. I'm gonna leave her link down below. Please go and smash that subscribe button. You're gonna love her if you're not familiar with her channel, which I think most of us are, but anyone new, I'd love for you guys to go and check her out. And thank you guys again for watching. I really appreciate it. My lives are Tuesday at 7 o'clock, and I'll see you next week. And I also drop videos on Saturday. What's your schedule, Jan? What are you doing now?
I'm going to speak to you after we kick off.
As far as when you drop videos.
Oh, okay. Usually daily uploads, not lately, but in general, yes. I'm tweaking the schedule. That's why I can't give you a definite answer. Sorry.
But you do lives Sunday at 2 o'clock.
Right? That was the goal. That might change.
Okay. All right. Well then.
But of course, I let everybody know in ample time, always.
Good. And then I guess you guys are gonna have to go subscribe and hit that bell so you're always notified when she posts.
See, that's the thing. Even if a person has a daily upload, I might upload at various times. So it's good to tap the bell, get notified.
Absolutely, you have to. Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, thank you guys so much again for watching live and watching on the replay. I really appreciate it. And any comments or questions that you have for Jan, please leave them linked down below, and I'll make sure that she gets them and she answers you. So
thank you so much, Debbie.
No, it's a pleasure always, Jan. Thank you so much for being on. And thank you guys all for watching. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.